Good morning, everybody. Thursday. Guys, it's been a minute since I did an In Your Car vlog. I'm having to go to another office today for some training. So I thought I'd get up this morning and do another little video for you guys, preparing for my weekend video. I did a podcast, and the podcast was about forgiveness, and a lot of you guys are not subscribed to me on my podcast channel, so I was thinking, well, maybe I'll share this on my YouTube page, channel. I said page. On my YouTube channel. That way, you guys could actually be a part of that also. Not going to come out the same way, but I'm going to share it anyway. But it's a nice Thursday morning. It's a little chilly this morning, but it's supposed to get a little warmer. I'm so ready for spring, guys. It's just jumping back and forth. One day it's cold, one day it's hot. Today I think it's supposed to be about 70 degrees. Yesterday it was like 45 or something like that. So just getting used to this change of season. But things are blooming and it's beautiful. But I wanted to come on this morning and just, you know, sit down and have a little chat with you, or drive in with the chat with you guys. And I had an epiphany about forgiveness. Because for a long time, you know, that's something that people a lot of times say they've done, but they really haven't. And I think it's because, for the most part, we don't understand what forgiveness really is. And I'm speaking for myself when I say that. Because I know oftentimes I see people on TV that has gone through some traumatic events and sometimes have lost their children, you know, loved ones. And then they come right back on the news station when they're being interviewed, and they say things like, you know, I forgive that person. And I remember thinking on a few occasions that there's no way possible that they've forgiven this person already. You know, it's still fresh. It's still something that happened recently. They have lost, they're grieving, and there's no way possible that they have forgiven this person that took the life of someone that they love so dearly. And I've said that often. Don't put my shades on, guys, because this early morning sun is just like really taking me out right now. And I guess it had to do with me understanding what it really means to forgive someone. And I heard, I actually do a sort of like a podcast. I guess that's what you would call it. At nighttime, I do my devotionals, and oftentimes when I'm doing a devotional, it has a podcast where you go and listen to videos that's on YouTube, and when you click the link, it takes you to YouTube to like a 3-minute message. And I actually was awakened by my understanding of forgiveness. And a lot of times we think forgiveness is a feeling. And forgiveness has nothing to do with how you feel or an emotion. You know, because when we're hurting a lot of times and we tell people, we can't forgive you because I'm so hurt because of what you've done. And actually that has nothing to do with actually forgiving someone. Also, another thing I want you guys to understand is that forgiveness has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with forgetting. We often feel like if we forgive someone, we have to forget what they've done. And it has nothing to do with forgetting. Forgiveness is actually a choice that you make to release a person from the debt that they owe you. You know, because vengeance is God's. And it's not for us to decide, you know, who gets that debt released. What we do when we forgive is we release that person from the debt, and we release ourselves from the prison that we put ourselves in our mind. Because as long as you hold on to those feelings of, I can't forgive this person, you're actually keeping yourself in prison to those thoughts and feelings. You know, to say you forgive somebody, it releases you from that. Give it over to God and allow Him to handle it in whatever way He deems fit. When I thought about it, I thought about the fact that Jesus died for us. And when He died, His blood covered all of our sins. And a lot of those are not sins that actually, we thought in the mindset of men, needs to be forgiven. I mean, at the time that he actually did that, someone was taking his life. But he still felt the need to ask God to forgive them, for they know not what they do. How many people who feel like at the time that you are being hurt, or you don't even have to be anything as tragic as being killed, but being hurt or something is done to you right then, that you can tell the Lord to forgive them at that time. So when I think about the sacrifice that he made, and that the fact that me loving God and serving God, that every time I make a mistake, his blood continues to wash away that, and I continue to be forgiven. Who am I not to forgive someone who does something to me? And oftentimes, a lot of times, it has to do with people not, have not grown, and they don't know what they're actually doing to you. And I really hope the sun, you guys can see me because I'm driving into it seems like. So when I got an understanding of what that meant, I can still be hurt. I don't have to forget, but I can release it. I can release that person from that debt and allow God to handle that for me. That's what he's there for. He's there to handle any situation that is too big for me, that's too painful for me. And that allows me to go on with my life and to continue living and to move on. So we have to learn that forgiveness is not what we feel, it's not how we forget, because those feelings are still there sometimes. You're going to remember it, you're not going to forget it, and you don't have to. Let me make this point. Allow that person that has hurt you back in your life in the same way that they were before. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be ugly to them, but you don't have to allow them, because you don't have to be a doormat for people to continue to do things to you over and over again. And a lot of times there's a trust issue that has been violated when someone has hurt you or done something to you that was ugly. So with that being said, it doesn't mean that, but what you do is you allow yourself to move on. It releases you from that, from imprisoning yourself in your mind over stuff. You're not thinking about it, because a lot of times when we have not forgiven people for things, and we're continually to think about it, I'm just so upset, I can't get over this. A lot of times, depending on what the situation is, that person has went on with their life. They don't even remember you, or they don't even think about what has happened between the two of you guys, and you sitting there imprisoned in your mind over something that someone else don't even think about. So that's why it's important to understand that forgiveness is not saying that you're okay with what they did, and it's not saying that you're not hurt by it, and it's not saying that you have to forget it. It's releasing you. It's releasing you from that imprisonment and allowing God to pick up where you can't. And so I just wanted to share that this morning, because for the first time in my life, I had a clear understanding of forgiveness, because I'm like, God gave us these emotions of hurt and pain and all of that. And he knows that you're going to grieve over things that happen to you. He knows you're going to grieve over losses of people that you love that are no longer in your life. But you don't have to stay in prison to the fact that the same blood that cleansed you, that forgives you every time you mess up, it's the same blood that's going to cleanse and wash away the forgiveness that person needs as well. Because everybody needs it. No matter what they've done in their life, everybody needs forgiveness, and allow God to do that. And I think when you learn how to do that, God comes in and he covers you, and he gives you that comfort that you need so that you can move on. Because when you hold on to grief and anger and animosity, you live in this ball, and when you release it, you can go on and thrive in your life. You can go on and have a life. So I'm encouraging you guys to do that today, or to practice it, or think about it, about releasing yourself and others from that imprisonment. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. I'm going to get over here and have this this class that I'm in, some new software that we're implementing in our company. Get over here and try to understand this stuff, and get on back to my office and try to have a productive Thursday. So you guys Have a good one. I love you guys very much. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to me if you have not. And I want to just always tell you I appreciate you guys for those who have subscribed, my long-term ride or die subscribers. I love you guys dearly. You all have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.